Hello! I'm not on the right mic. Hey, we're still transitioning. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is Monday night again, and we are playing D&D here on Wandering DM. We're continuing our Secrets of the North, the Rime of the Frostmaiden campaign. And before we begin, I would just like to thank our sponsors, of course, starting with Magen Press, who make very, very fun supplements for 5th edition D&D. You should check out, actually, Dark Matter if you like sci-fi and fantasy. They made a very cool sci-fi fantasy setting for D&D in space. Then you should also check out Found Familiar. They make some great coffee. I'm actually going to try tonight for the first time the Good Berry one that actually smells of berries, so I can't wait to taste it. I haven't tried it yet. And our other sponsor is, of course, Roll20, the virtual tabletop that we use here for all of our games on Wandering DM. You can check them out at roll20.net, or use the panels down below for any of our sponsors and our partners. Speaking of partners, we have Level Up Dice. I'll talk more about them at the end of the stream. And I have decided, because they're in their Kickstarter right now, I have here the deck of stories that was graciously sent to me, and I will use it, not tonight, but probably starting next week, to create a side trek for our group to explore, and we'll get more into that once they potentially get out of Dugan's Hole. That said, let's go around the table, introduce the cast for tonight. Tell us who you are playing, and we'll get into the recap and get the ball going on our missing children mission. Let's go around the overlay in clockwise order from my right to begin with our resident wizard.
You always start with me. I don't think that's fair. Anyway, hi, I'm Kelly, the Opera Geek. I am playing Sarkya, again, resident wizard, who has recently come into possession of a small, naked, tiny dragon and is very, very happy about it. She is not happy about the fact that Mr. Fancy Pants has taken her familiar.
Speaking of Mr. Fancy Pants, who are you?
I'm Ragnar, Mr. Fancy Pants, and apparently I have taken her familiar.
Well, yeah, see, look, he's right there.
He likes me better, apparently, because that's what happens when you drop your familiars at the, moment's notice because you found the new cute hotness.
Our next player tonight is our resident rogue for the moment.
For the moment. I'm playing Alize, and she is highly entertained by this group of adventurers so far. She's not used to seeing this eccentric bunch, so it's good. It's been fun.
Cool. Speaking of eccentric bunch, the eccentric resident of Dugan's Hole is next.
Oh, hello! Hey, Maiden! Tonight I'm playing Etten. He's a Furbolg cleric. And he is the unofficial town greeter for Dugan's Hole. He's just always happy to be there.
And our last player tonight is also a resident of Icewind Dale, though of no current town of the 10 towns. It's our Goliath.
Hello, y'all. I'm Diana. I'm going to be playing Halafine, your Goliath monk. And I think calling this an eccentric group of adventurers is probably the kindest wording that you would ever use.
Wait, I'd also like to point out, apparently, Ragnar tonight is being played by Celine Dion. We're just letting everybody know that right now.
What's going... Yeah, I
don't know.
I don't have an issue with that, you know?
I don't either. It's just another Canadian to add to the show.
On brand.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. So, to recap our last session, who would like to go and do the recap to the best of their memory as I fiddle around with the last of my note that I thought I had up and I mistook one thing for another?
Oh, Ed will do it. I will. Hello. So I was sitting in my town, and it was the full moon night when there's no lights or any fire or anything like that, and we had all these visitors come to see me, and it was so much fun, and I tried to convince them to get in the pile because we all piled together for warmth on this night. But they didn't want to. So they got their rooms, and then soon I found out that there was a mom, and she was missing her babies, and so we went to find the babies. But then Helafine broke the town, and she knocked down a big pillar that stood there for eons, and that was very stressful for me. But I keep a stiff upper lip, and I carry on, always carry on. And we went down in there, and we found these big rubies that fired. They shot fire. Oh, and then we found this dragon, but it wasn't really a dragon. So then we found another dragon, and it was a little dragon with no scales. And then we left. And as we were leaving, we found these wolves, and they're staring us down hungrily.
That they are.
I feel like we could just call Etten, or Furbolg of Warning, because like Justin pointed out last session, we're never going to be surprised. As soon as he sees anything, hello!
Because if I remember correctly, only a couple of us spotted them, but Etten was one of them, and he immediately said hello out loud as he waved to the wolves across the tundra.
Yes.
That's how you make friends.
Indeed, the two large white wolves with glowing blue eyes were staring at you from a distance. Etten greeted them. And
hello.
the one on the left perked up at the sound of Etten's voice, and in a gruff voice says, "I send greetings."
Oh, that's very polite. I receive greetings.
Yes, and no, keep him talking. And I'm going to step behind Etten, because he's very large, right?
Oh, yes.
Etten's fairly large, yep.
Like, he would... If I step behind him, would I be out of sight of the wolves?
Yes, I would say not enough to stealth.
No, I don't want to stealth, but enough where if I step behind him and then drew a longbow, would they see the longbow?
I'll say probably not. They are still, they're within shouting distance, but they're still pretty far away.
Okay, yeah, then I will do that and step behind them and draw the longbow while saying, yes, no, talk, keep them talking.
Satya, at this point, I assume, please mute your microphone. At this point, I assume that Sarkia would see that they're talking to the wolves and would then notice them. Is that correct? No, yes?
Yes, everyone would hear. Oh, by the way, the wolf spoke in a strange accent of common.
And are their eyes indeed like Sarkia's eyes?
Not exact. They glow softly like yours, blue. Mm-hmm. But they still are, from what you can guess at this distance, they are just shiny wolf eyes.
Okay.
Related to that accent, does it sound familiar? Specifically to my character?
It would sound more familiar to Helafine and maybe Etten, who spent a long time in the 10 Towns.
How does it sound familiar?
It sounds like a frost giant speaking in common. So there's like a thick, giantish accent behind it.
Sarkia?
Yes.
You're real smart and magical. And Alize, you might know too. Do you guys know, can giants turn into wolves?
I mean, someone could turn giants into wolves. I don't see why that would be advisable.
The
Maybe they're a
wolves are
little large,
talking
but I
like
wouldn't call them
giants.
giant.
They're talking like giants.
They're
Yeah.
talking like giants.
Yeah, there's a certain dialect that comes from the throat, like hello, whenever a giant talks, and that's kind of what the wolves are doing.
You guys say druids? And he's going to step behind and he's going to loose an arrow. As soon as he figures out how there you go.
At the mention of druids, you actually rolled a 23 on your first attack.
Okay, good. I didn't know which one I hit.
Yeah.
What button was.
A flash goes out from behind Etten as an arrow is loosed by Ragnar. Ragnar, were you aiming for the leftmost one or the rightmost one?
Which was technically closer to us, or I should say facing us. Which one would have been closer angle-wise?
That would be the left one, the one that spoke.
Yeah, okay. Because I would have just aimed towards the closest one as I turned and tried to, angle the shot at him.
You let loose an arrow that hits, and actually almost lodges itself in the wolf had it not turned at the last second. Instead, the arrow basically cuts him along its flank, along its right flank.
What are you doing?
Oh no, they were very friendly. Why you shoot them?
Sarkia will put herself in between the group and the wolves. They were talking to us. They weren't.
Oh, yes, the same wolves who took away the children. Yes, those ones. I'm sorry, did we forget what we're doing?
They took away the children.
Did anyone listen to the mother?
Yes.
It did, but she
There could be
didn't,
more
she
than
didn't
one.
say for certain.
Oh, that there'd be more talking wolves out here than these two.
Sarkia will turn to the wolves.
They are now both baring their fangs, and
She puts her hands up. She's like, I'm really, really sorry about that. We're investigating missing children, and our nerves are a little on edge. We were told they were taken by two large wolves with blue eyes.
the second one, the one that hasn't been hit, takes a few steps in front of the other, baring its fang, and says, we be the ones who took them children.
For what reason?
Now it's cleared up.
What did you have a motive? Why did you take them?
Are we talking about motive here? Because I'm notching a second arrow, motive,
2 seconds before you roll your second attack, the wolf says, we've been asked politely, and so we obeyed.
Obeyed who?
And I believe that's when another arrow is let loose.
Fancy pants.
When Fancy Pants fires his second shot, I'm going to pick him up off the ground by his armpits so that he can't fire anymore.
The arrow will hit. Are you targeting still the same one or the other one?
I mean, if the other one's stepping in front, it's obviously the one that's in the way.
Okay, and how much damage is that?
That'd be 8.
So, when you let loose the other arrow, the first one says, growls something to the second one, and the second one, with its your arrows, right where the shoulder of the front leg, the front paw would be, looks at you and says, well then, I guess we will be having these children for dinner now. And they turn around and bolt away.
Yes, because you couldn't just keep your mouth shut or your bow not drawn for 3 minutes.
I'm going to turn Fancy Pants around. That wasn't good.
Aliza
was
would
bad.
run after them as quickly as she can, using her full movement.
Yeah, how hard is it to fire an arrow while she's holding me? Because, I mean, she's only holding me by my armpits, right?
It would be enough to give you disadvantage.
I can roll a
Turned you
disadvantage.
around. You're facing away.
Oh yeah, no. If you're
from them
facing
now.
away, yeah, no. That would be no.
Curve it.
Alize took off after them.
I
What
will
about
toss
Etten?
Fancy Pants to the side and follow?
Okay. So Helafine, Alize are going after the wolves. What of the other three?
Sarkia walks over to him angrily and takes her familiar from him with a huff.
You take back your fox. And do you take off after the wolves, or do you stay in Dugan's Hole?
Oh no, I after them.
Okay. Which leaves Etten and Ragnar behind. What do the two of you do?
I mean, I would have got up as soon as I hit the ground, because, hey, now there's a trail to follow because of blood.
There is indeed.
Etten is going to be nervously bouncing on the balls of his feet the whole time that these interactions are going on and looking back from one to the other. And then when they take off running, he becomes even more distressed, reluctant to leave Dugan's Hole. And he stays just a little bit longer than everybody else and does eventually, oh, wait for me! And he takes off running after them.
Can you make a religion check when you step out of view of the houses of Dugan's Hole?
That is an 8.
8. You swear you felt a warm wind across your face when you stepped outside of view of Dugan's Hole. Which would have been, as the popular belief is, this is the edge of town, if you will. Since everyone's running after these wolves, they're going to run for a while, but I would like to know, what is everyone's speed? I'm actually trying to see who's the slowest of all of you.
Base 30, of course, I believe. Yep, base 30.
Base 30.
Yeah, mine's base 32, which seems odd, but...
Same.
32 is a very odd number.
I think your speed only increases next level.
So what you're saying is
monks-
we're leveling up right now.
Monks
So
get
generous, DM!
You'll eventually become very, very fast as a monk, don't worry.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know, it's sort of the only thing I do.
50 feet in vertical surfaces.
So, you all take off after the winter wolves, running as fast as you can. The wolves...
I'm paying attention to the blood trail as well, less because I assume the wolves are going to be clearly moving faster than us.
Yeah.
And trying probably to keep maybe out of sight of my bow. So if I can't see them in visual range of my bow, then I'm going to keep my eye on the blood as well.
Okay. In fact, they run across the tundra outside of town for over an hour before you finally lose sight of them.
Wait, do we lose sight of them though?
Well, the wolves can run for a longer time than a humanoid can.
Do I get any shots at them before they get out of range of 600 feet?
I mean, I'd say you can make like 2 shots with disadvantage at some point where you could probably, if anybody else has ranged weapons, like there are some moments that, yeah, I figure you could, slow down for a split second, let loose a bolt or an arrow or something. if it's something that, or a spell, if it's something that you want to do.
Can we tell the general direction that they are headed?
Oh yeah,
toward?
it's, their tracks are fresh and very easy to follow. And they are going eastward. Straight east.
So the first attack with disadvantage would have hit them because I rolled 2 19s.
Yes.
So I hit one of them for 8 damage then.
You keep letting loose arrows as you... Jesus.
And just a 20 because disadvantage, so I don't get that nat.
Nope.
But I hit another one of them for 11.
Yeah, you let loose your arrows, and the two wolves basically just keep scampering away. At some point, they even try to go through slightly thicker snow. Try to get to lose you in their flight from you. But after an hour of this chase across the tundra, the thing is the wind begins to pick up. And while you know for a fact that there will not be any storms or anything of the sort, any blizzard tonight, the wind carries with it the howl of multiple other wolves. For anyone used to... Oh, yeah.
No, I was just gonna say they're like way ahead of us now. Like if I yell, they won't be able to hear me.
No, their speed is twice yours. So basically,
Cool.
they did, they have a lot of
Lead.
Lead, yeah. Thank you. On you.
Okay.
And then for anyone who would have lived in, the wilds for a while, you would know that judging by the sound, whatever's howling right now is upwind of you.
Have we all kind of slowed down knowing that we are not going to catch these wolves at this point?
I mean, I think Sarkia would already be kind of not struggling behind you all, but she's definitely not one of the more martial types. And she is from the south.
Yeah, I don't know how often Sarkia would have to chase something in the snow since she got here.
Well, she's had to chase lots of stuff, but not through the snow. And I would assume at this point it's that like cold where it starts to burn your lungs when you're breathing as you run.
That's just running in general. Let's be
At that
honest.
too, but when it's cold, it's even worse.
So did we just get those kids killed? Because it kind of seems that way.
I don't think we did.
I think anyone did. They're already taken by wolves. We're tracking them back with the blood trail.
Doesn't it mean anything to you that the wolves were talking instead of ripping the flesh from our bones?
Yes, it means they stood still long enough for us to hit them.
Barely, first of all. Second of all, don't think that was super diplomatic. They kind of had the upper hand.
Upper hand to what?
Upper hand
Exactly.
to us. Do you see any children or any wolves around us right now?
I hear the wolves.
That are much faster than us and are probably going to get to the children before we do.
See, hearing this argument, Aliza finally be the last one to stop running and turns back around to the group with disappointment, staring directly at the fancy pants.
Etten is going to be the last one to arrive because I feel like he's just slow and steady like the tortoise, and he's 7 feet tall, so he doesn't run so much as just walks, and he's going to get to the group and, oh, come on guys, let's just keep moving, and I'll pick up Sarskia. No,
Sarkia.
Sarkia. Um,
Saskia.
put
Yeah.
an arm under Sarkia and hold her next to my warm furbolg body and just keep pushing and walking and pushing and walking.
Yeah, Ragnar wouldn't have stopped moving. He would have just kept moving. He's not running at full pace, though. He's, continuing forward.
Could I make a snowball and hit Fancy Pants?
Yeah. I mean, can you make a snowball? Yes, absolutely. Can you throw it at Fancy Pants properly? That's where I would ask for a thrown attack.
So question, is that just
That would
a
be-
regular roll plus dex? Is that what that is?
Since it's a thrown weapon, you can do so with strength if you wanted.
Yeah, I'm gonna use dex. Because that's better for me. That's an 18.
Ragnar, is your AC an 18 or lower?
If she would have hit me, I would probably in the back, because as I said, I would have been moving forward.
So yeah, you get hit square in the back by a, it hits your backpack. This big Goliath-made snowball.
Which point I'd be like, I don't think that's a wolf, and I don't think you can use that against wolves, so perhaps you'd like to keep moving.
Your self-awareness is zero. You just got children killed. You just got us lost. I have no idea where we are. And look at Etten. Etten's freaking out.
I think Etten's carrying somebody. I don't know if that constitutes a freak out. But I haven't known him long enough, perhaps.
You just stay here. Just stay here for 2 minutes. That's all I'm asking. And
If
then
we
I'll
stay here, they'll
turn.
certainly be killed.
I'd like to turn and climb whatever tree is closest to try and see if I can get a line of sight on this pack of wolves that we can hear.
Yeah, we'll say there's a sturdy enough tree nearby, like a pine, that you can climb.
Etten, are we still going?
Yeah, but it's slow and steady. So, just because they're stopping doesn't mean that they're going to get very far ahead or behind.
Oh, come on now. Like, what? It's because she would have kicked her feet when you first picked her up. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, you seem like you were being a little slow, so I just thought I'd help you along. I'll put you down now. But keep going. Just keep going.
I just imagine being dropped straight down into 4 feet of snow.
Oh, goodness, I'm sorry.
As you climb up the tree, you don't need to climb very high, Elephine, to see this pack of 7 emaciated wolves. They're not as big as the talking wolves from earlier. In fact, those are regular wolves. The talking wolves were as big as ponies. But they're sniffing the air and trying to pick up on probably the scent of blood. But like I said earlier, they are upwind of you. So their nose isn't as good as it normally would have been. If they were downwind, they would have probably picked up on you immediately.
Sure.
Distance-wise, they are about 300 feet. So 100 yards from where you are.
Great. Do I, because Diana sure as hell doesn't, but do I, as Heliphine, have any fun brainstorms as to how I might be able to mislead wildlife?
You can make a nature or a survival check.
Let's do survival. That's not a negative modifier. 11.
The wolves are looking for food. If you let food somewhere convenient and make sure that they pick up on that scent, they should aim for that food. Now the question is do you have food that would interest the wolf?
We can put a stake around Ragnar, have him run.
I'll climb back down the tree, and just kind of talk to no one in particular, but the entire group. Does anyone have any rations?
I look at Etten.
No?
Sadkia looks a little uncertain, almost like somebody who doesn't necessarily want to give up what is probably the only food she's got. She's like, I have something. What do you need it for?
Well, so here's the thing. The wolves that you hear howling, don't freak out. Don't freak out. But they're
They're
like
upwind
100
from
yards
us.
away. So what
Yes.
no, they're not.
They're upwind.
They're looking for food. We are food. I don't know if you realize this. So if we take that food and maybe, I don't know, put a flame to it, make it smell a little bit more, and then just leave it somewhere, the wolves are going to go over there and then like not attack us, which would be kind of cool, right?
Sadkia will look a little more sad and reach into her bag and pull out like a handful, like it fits in her hand. It's not that much left of bacon, and hand it to Elephine.
Thank you. Do I have like a flint or something? I would think so,
Yes.
since cold. Cool. So I'll kind of go over to a tree nearby, and sort of tuck the bacon under a piece of bark and just like singe the edge a little bit till where it starts bubbling and crackling and smoking, to really get that home cooked bacon smell wafting through the air. And then I'll be like, okay, let's go now, far away from here. Let's go.
Yes, follow me. I know the way.
Has Ragnar stopped at all during this time?
Ragnar was trying to continue to at least pick up the trail and he was also trying to continue to move upwind from the wolves, since I assume I can do that.
Yeah,
With my favorite terrain, and
you would have quickly realized that your path would have intersected at some point. They're going basically this way, you're going that way.
yeah, I was trying to, I would have just been moving away, but keeping the blood trail in order before she interrupted for her brilliant plan. But it was brilliant, so I figured I'd let her do it.
Can you make as you pick back up after the meat has been sizzled, which, by the way, just looking very quickly from your Goliath height, you can see the faint shapes of the wolves going, like, shifting to come to where you are, Elephine, where the food is.
Let's go.
Ragnar, I think even without a survival roll, because you're tracking them in your favorite terrain, the two big wolves were purposefully driving you towards this pack. They were running away, yes, but they're clever enough to try to get you eaten before you get anywhere.
He would keep that to himself, just sort of a sly smile, but just be like, yeah, as long as he can still find the blood trail.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm not asking for checks. If it's not the blood, it's the paws in the snow. However,
Etten,
oh yes,
is it visible enough that Etten can see it too? Because I have not really stopped. Just kept going. Just keep plodding along.
Like right now, the tracks would be, if I had to put a DC on them, it would be DC 5.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So like, unless you're really unaware, you should see them.
Okay, I'll just keep going.
Oh, nice birds. Not really what I wanted, but okay.
Are you trying to kill us?
Keep following the tracks. And nighttime approaches. It's been roughly, well, nighttime. Up in the sky, through the Aurora Borealis, you can start seeing the stars appear. So you would know it's about nighttime, but the light levels don't change. The wind begins to pick up, unnaturally so. And all around you, the snow gets picked up by the wind, which begins to spin all around you, forming this confusing and very loud storm. Which is why I thought that this soundtrack had a storm. But that's not.
So this is very confusing to me because I 100% was certain that there was going to be no storm, correct?
Yes. And you know for a fact that, naturally speaking, none of the conditions were met for there to be a blizzard.
So I would just randomly spit out magic. Just magic, and I am now 100% certain druids or something is involved, and just... I am, like, cursing under my breath.
Because it is fairly easy to get lost in a blizzard, some of you, Etten, Helifine, Ragnar, because you're an Arctic ranger, would have... It's probably not your first blizzard. Whereas for Alize and Sarkia, this is maybe not the first time that you've encountered a blizzard, but probably the first time that you've traveled in one. I would like to know, what do you do as the storm picks up enough that you can barely hear yourself speak?
Okay. Sarkia would... She would try to keep staying on the direction she was pointed, that she knew everybody else was going. But she would also attempt to... I don't know how it would work, I guess in Arcana, if she could figure out the direction that the storm is originating from.
Okay. Are you proficient... I'm just asking like that. Are you proficient with navigator tools? You're muted.
It's me. Do you think I have tools to read a map?
Okay. Then I would go... Well, you can... You can try with Arcana, because it's a magical storm.
Okay.
As I'm frantically trying to find something that has the...
15.
With a 15, you wouldn't know where it came from, but you would know where you are relative to its epicenter. Wherever it is, it's in one direction. It's about a mile out.
Is it about a... So the epicenter, is it in the direction I'm going?
You're
I don't know.
not quite sure. It could be.
Do I notice her trying to locate something, or?
I would ask Sarkia, what does it look like when you try this? Do you stop and look around, or?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting to press spacebar to unmute. She would stop and kind of look around frantically for a minute and then close her eyes and just get really, really still, like preternaturally still, because she's trying to focus and figure out where everything is. And I believe her focus... Yes, it's a necklace. So she would probably have her hand here.
So yes.
So when I see that, I go to Sarkia and, you know, the storm is coming, like, we need to move. What are you doing? And try to...
This is not a natural storm, Alize.
What do you mean?
It's magic. I was trying to find where it was, and they've all left us.
Oh, is there anything I can do to help you?
I'm trying to think, DM. I'm not sure that she'd be able to. But I
Um,
also don't know all her skills, so.
well, that
I
depends
think
on what you would
navigator
need help for.
Yeah. So if you need specific things.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I'm looking for basically the source of the magic, like where it's emanating from. So I'm not sure that would.
Oh, I don't know much about magic. I mean, I could probably tell you as far as what can I tell with the navigator tools? I don't know.
Oh, you
Um,
actually have navigator tools?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
well, then if you do have navigator tools, um, you can make a check using your. It would basically be a wisdom check. So a wisdom plus your proficiency.
Alright. Oops. Come up.
Yep, that would be a 15 since you don't have advantage. But 15 is enough to know
+2, right?
that, yeah, plus the +2 is already included in it. Oh, okay, you mean it wasn't in yours? Yeah, so that would be a 17. Yeah, definitely. The epicenter is not exactly in a straight line to you, going east. It's slightly more to the like east northeast of it. The storm itself is slowly moving away from where it originated, but at the same time, the storm is moving to keep you, your group, within it.
Oh. Yeah, it doesn't, I agree, it doesn't feel very natural. So I don't know about the magic part, but it's definitely not originating from the same spot. It feels like it's moving almost with us.
Which might mean that they can see us.
Yeah, if somebody's trying to keep us under the storm, for sure, they can detect us.
So that they're either very close or they're scrying.
Guys, it's super windy. Why did you stop?
Come over here for a second.
No, you come over here.
Let's go to them. Let's go to them. And
Etton's gonna
I would
cast.
try to follow the voice.
Etton's gonna cast light on the top of his head.
And I hold on to Sarkia, so at least we're not separated as we walk through.
Oh, ducklings! Come, ducklings! Where are you?
Speaking of,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh no, I was gonna. What were we gonna?
I wanted to know what Ragnar was doing in the storm.
Trying to peer down to see is the trail still there, or is it being destroyed, or
It's being destroyed, so you're gonna need to start rolling to follow it from now on.
Yeah, he would be very annoyed because as he would assume that once the wind picks up and everything else that they are essentially trying to cover their tracks, which is part of the thing that he is swearing under his breath in Infernal.
So the group, so here's my question. Do you split the party? Is Ragnar going one way while the rest of the group huddles together? Or are you still trying to stay within the same, more or less compact group as you travel?
He probably would. He's really not used to traveling with people, but he's still probably is getting slow going with the storm and everything, and trying to stop to keep an eye on the trail. And I guess it depends on how badly is the trail being deteriorated.
Does Mr. Fancy Pants have a cape of any kind, or like a robe or something like that?
He had the same cloak we all don't. We all aren't wearing wonderful winter clothes.
Cool. So when Mr. Fancy Pants is trying to like trudge through the snow, through the wind away from us, I'll just
He'd be
kind of
crouched down over the trail probably at the moment.
I'm gonna hold on to the edge of his cloak and just hope he doesn't notice and kind of keep slip sliding along the trail, but can't really get away. Does that make sense?
So you're making like a train of people following each other, holding on to.
Sort of, but I've stopped
Yeah.
moving because I noticed that 2 of our party members stopped.
I think by the time Sarkia gets up there, would probably be right around the time Ragnar
Is noticing how bad the trail is, yeah.
It's so she gets up there, I would assume, just as he's starting to curse madly. And she turns to him, like she stares at him, and in Infernal says, maybe don't take off so quickly next time. You're not going to outrun it, it's magic.
Once the party gets together and realizes that we are losing the track, how high does the windstorm seem to be hovering us? Can we see, or
it almost reaches the clouds.
okay.
It's this let me check. It's a giant column, but oh, it's 1 mile high.
1 mile high. Wow. Okay. All right.
I just also noticed what the average temperature around you right now is, and it makes me freak out a little.
Pretty cold, is it?
It's minus 49, 40. Yeah, minus 49 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh. Oof. Sarkia begins to regret not letting Etten carry her some more.
It's okay, I'm still here.
So, yes, Sarkia would walk up behind Ragnar because, disagreements aside, he's obviously a tracker, you know. And she kind of kneels down next to him and, switching back to Infernal, explains that whoever's casting this is probably paralleling us or scrying on somebody. And there's already one member of our party who's shown themselves very susceptible to scrying. But it's more likely that the person can see us somehow. And the storm is moving with us.
Yes, he just nods his head, but he doesn't seem to care. He's just looking for the trail.
Is there any good cover nearby?
Everywhere because of the storm. Or you mean shelter from the storm?
I mean shelter, like a rock alcove or something.
It's very hard to see because of the wind, but if you make a perception check with disadvantage, let's say DC 12, there would be something. Because it is the tundra. So there might be a bit of, but it's less rocky terrain where you are right now.
Rolled exactly 12.
Then, yes, there is. Nearby, so it's an event that occurred about 3 years ago, or even longer than that, in Icewind Dale. Giant, jagged shards of ice fell from the sky. It lasted, a day. Very strange, a lot of casualties. But there is one said giant shard sticking out like an obelisk at like a 45-degree angle. It's roughly 6-7 feet wide, and the very space where the shard meets the snow could make for a shelter if you really all, huddled together very tightly and could wait out the storm.
A cuddle pile.
I'll turn to Etten. Is this nearby? Like close to where we are right now?
Within 100 feet, because you can't see more than 100 feet with the storm.
Cool. Great. I'll turn to Etten and I'll say, Etten, can you bring the ducklings over here?
Oh, but what about the children?
Yeah, We aren't gonna be able to find him in this.
I can find them.
You can?
I can try. I always try.
We can find them, I'll say rather loudly, trying to say against the storm. And I guess, should I make a roll to pick up the trail again?
Survival, please, yes.
I would like to cast guidance if an opportunity arises
On who?
on Ragnar.
Oh, okay. So
Call
yeah,
him by his rightful name, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Oh, see, Mr. Fancy Pants can help us find them with the light of Lathander.
I'm not hopeful here.
I mean, I rolled an 18, so I found it
can you roll?
probably right away.
Can you just roll an extra d4 just to see?
Yes, I can. +4.
Good, because it was DC 20.
Oh.
So it's you crouch down and follow. You can still see the tracks like a couple feet ahead of you, but the more you follow them, like the sparser they become, to the point where at some point the only way to track them is almost to just feel on the snow where sometimes the snow is less packed, where there would have been a hole, basically, because of their legs, and follow that, because visually you cannot see it anymore. And the blood has either congealed or healed enough from your arrow wounds, because you found one of your arrows on the trek up to there, which means that the other one probably still has the arrow in them, and thus doesn't bleed as much. But you do make your way forward and would see through the blizzard something that I'm going to.
And he would be quasi nice enough to at least turn it before he, as we take off, to be like, stick close, very close, because, we really can't see much in the snow and such.
No, if anyone, game-wise, if anyone is more than 30 feet away from someone else, chances are you'll get lost.
I mean, Sarkia was right next to him, and Etten was near him too.
I'm gonna make a hand-holding chain.
Yeah, and she's gonna turn to Etten and say, "Etten, can you do the light trick, but on him?"
Yes. I'm gonna pat him on the back and leave a light handprint on his back.
Okay. So that you can all see the glow of Ragnar trekking through the snow. I don't know if you can...
Probably in the same spot that snowball hit me.
Do you see what I've put on Roll20? This gigantic...
Yeah, it looks creepy.
Yes. This is what you see through the blizzard. It is an immense, butte of compact snow with 3 large arches that lead deeper into the darkness of whatever that place is. While you don't see what's inside, you do notice pacing back and forth on the in the leftmost arch, 4 glowing blue eyes.
Oh,
hello! Has Elisa seen similar structures in the books before?
Yes, they remind you of a frost giant abode.
Oh.
Yeah, you've heard, according to the books that you've read, written by one Volo, he mentioned that basically every giant in the north live in something like that.
There is definitely that definitely belongs to a frost giant. I've seen those before. I mean, not in real life. This is prettier. But yes, definitely frost giants. I don't know much about them, but...
Do I know much about them?
Oh, as a Goliath, you would.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I know that this goes against our normal tactics. Do you mind if I just can I just try and talk to them first?
Maybe we should leave the fancy pants outside.
Just stay here for like 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes. That's all I need. And I'll trek off towards the eyes.
Sarkia looks very doubtful. But who is she to stop someone from going to their certain death?
It's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine.
Oh, maybe we stay. Oh.
Elizabeth will follow her close behind, but she will just wait outside, right outside. But she'll follow her.
I mean, the eyes are pacing in the doorway. They aren't inside, right?
No,
Okay,
they're
yeah.
well. If they're
So-
inside, they're maybe like 5 feet inside or something.
Sure. I'm gonna hold a hand up so that Alice stays just a little, maybe slightly out of melee range, just a little further behind. And then I'll look. Hey guys. So I want to apologize. I'm really sorry about the guy with the bow.
Bring him forth.
I can do that. I can do that. But first, I really want to let you know how sorry we are. Most of us didn't really want things to go down that way, and we were just trying to return some kids home to their mom. I mean, they're little tiny children. They possibly can't, like, there's no way they're a full meal for you guys.
Bring him here. And you notice the other wolf, while the first one is talking, is trying with its mouth to remove the arrow that's stuck in its shoulder, but just can't quite reach.
Can I help you with that?
The first one snaps at you, the other one growls something, and the first wolf just moves a little while the second one moves closer to you. They seem to not want to let you enter. There's the way that the arch is made, the corridor under the arch, you see that after about 30 feet, it would open up into a room, but it's at an angle. Like, they all
So I
open
can't
at
see
an
what's
angle.
in the room.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the one stepping forward to let me help him with the arrow, or
Yep.
is he? Okay.
You can pluck the arrow out easily enough, unless Ragnar has some weird arrows that require a check to pluck out. Otherwise, I assume they're just like default, not broadhead arrows.
Yeah, I'll pull out the arrow. Does that feel better?
Still not even.
I know, and I'm really, really sorry about that. I just don't. You eating my friends isn't gonna make you feel any better. It's not gonna make us feel any better. It just means that we're gonna be going back and forth, attacking each other, and I don't want that. That's a lot of energy wasted.
Who says anything about eating? And the other one just licks its lips.
Okay, that's not disconcerting at all. That's. Can I ask a question? You all talk with a very interesting dialect for wolves, being that you talk. This isn't your normal form, is it?
Should have figured. The perfection of the humanoid form, isn't it? No one else would dream to live in another form than having opposable thumbs. This is our true form, giant born.
It's very nice. I've never met anyone like you before.
And you never will again if you don't bring us the Arrow Man.
Okay. Can you tell me what you're gonna do with the Arrow Man?
We're just going to talk.
Alvin.
And then we get the kids back, right?
We'll see.
That's not comforting. What, Elise?
Maybe we should just give him to them.
Can you guys excuse me for just one moment? I have to go see if we feel like giving up the arrow man. Oh, just one moment. Just and I'll turn and I'll walk back to Elise and I'll say, I wouldn't mind, but I'm also not feeling super murdery today.
I mean, he did shoot them, right? They do have a right to have a conversation with him.
Well, they said they just wanted to talk.
They're just gonna talk. I think that's okay.
Do I believe that they just want to talk?
You can make an insight check if you want to.
I'm not very smart, so that's probably, that's a 4 -1.
They do. They actually, the whole turn the other cheek type thing.
Totally just want to talk. Okay, so okay, let's go get everybody. They just want to talk. It'll be fine.
While they were having this conversation, I would be like hunched over the other two, blocking them from the wind and regaling them with a story. Oh, one time I was out on the ice. I was fishing for fish. The knucklehead trout are very nice. Oh, and the storm whipped up, and I had to stay out there on the ice unprotected for a whole day. It was terrible, but I caught so many fish.
Do you have any fish with you right now?
Oh, yes, of course.
Hey
I'll pull out
guys.
some fish jerky.
Gross. So, funny thing, they actually sell fish jerky at all the gas stations in Iceland. It's disgusting. I just throwing that out there for everyone.
Don't particularly want to try.
It's real nasty.
Oh, no, it's
He
delicious.
would definitely eat it.
It's real gross. Guys, so good news, bad news kind of situation. They just want to talk to us, and then I think we may get to see the kids. I don't know that we're gonna be able to take them home, but that's how we're gonna have to try.
Oh, that's
So
fantastic.
then why did we come out here?
I don't know. I was following you.
How
Find the kids, and we will find them. They just need to talk to you. I mean, us.
the lot of you
Huh?
are the morons who were in the inn who promised this wife, or this mother, this woman, that you were going to find her children. You got her worked up, despite not knowing that there were wolves outside of town, and therefore that her children were probably eaten.
They're
which
not
it
wolves.
looks like. Then what are? Well,
They're
wolves.
frost
I
giants.
did see wolves track before.
They're frost giants who are currently as wolves. But
They're
regardless,
frost giants who want you dead, okay? And I managed to talk them into just speaking with you.
Nobody wants you dead. Okay.
I kind of do right now. I'm not gonna lie.
And the
Let's just go
main
talk to
point
them.
is, you came out here because you wanted to save these children after getting this woman's hopes up, and now you're over here talking to these things that kidnapped her child.
Because you shot at them.
Why are you here?
They kidnapped her children.
Can I pick him up and carry him back towards the building?
If she makes a motion to me, he will put a hand on his blade and just make a tuss-tuss noise. Like,
That's fine.
why are you guys once again out here? I came out here because I thought we were rescuing children, and instead
That's
you
what
knocked
we're
over
trying
stones.
to do
Yeah.
right now.
You made it difficult by shooting at them instead of talking to them. We would have had the children already.
While they're arguing, Sarkia is going to walk towards the place while everybody's attention is off her. You yourself.
No.
So I'll just switch to Sarkia very quickly and then back to everyone. Sarkia, you approach the 3 arches. And again, the 2 giant wolves in the leftmost arch. They look at you, and one of them says, baring its fangs, "You are not him."
She approaches with her hands kind of out to the sides. No. I just want to talk to you before you talk to him.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, this is gonna go super well.
You have 10 seconds.
All right. Why did you take the children? What
4.
possible need could you have for them? You didn't want to eat them. I know you didn't want to eat them. What do you need them for?
Food. What else? We are but wolves.
You are not wolves. And it's either one of you or someone you know that's casting that storm out there, because that's not real.
We have nothing to do with the storm.
Would I sense that they did not like whoever is doing that? Because that seemed a bit hostile.
You can definitely make a insight check.
Oh, good.
Let me check. Let me
I just can't win with these with dice.
roll on my own. No, you struck a nerve.
Do you know who's casting this storm? You don't like them. I don't think you like them.
Your 10 seconds are up. Food.
I can help you get rid of them.
You do not smell of a killer. Arrowman did.
However, I'm not exactly what you see. Kind of like you.
You are no beast.
She would just give them a very, very slow smile. Can you really be certain of that? You leave my cute little dragon alone.
Oh, in order to survive the blizzard, Thrun had to hide deep in a backpack, by the way. And
Yeah, he's in my backpack.
He's not going to come out until the blizzard is over, because it's going to tear him to pieces.
He's snippy.
The wolf says, "Not in here." And they both get out of... Like, they brush past you as they leave the archway, and they head to where your group is.
It's very difficult for me to walk through the storm. May I hold on to one of you?
No.
Are you muted? I can't tell if you said no.
Oh, no.
Fair enough. So she will walk in front of them back to where the group is. Everyone, we are under a truce. Bit of a parley. They don't like who's casting this storm. They have something that we want. We can help them with something that they want.
One of the wolves, the one whose arrow was stuck in the shoulder, approaches Ragnar and sniffs him.
My hand is still on my blade, so I just look at him, down at him, and I, give him another tisk.
You did not hesitate.
I was going to say the same for child stealers.
We do not steal. We are proud hunters.
Oh, proud hunters, and those great prey those small children must have made, right?
That. And he snorts. By the way, everyone can hear what they're saying. That was not our call.
Whose was it?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Short man. Bald man. Covered in hair. He killed. Let me get my notes.
That is a very strange name. Is he from, that has to be from the south.
He.
Maybe from Kalimport? It sounds like it's maybe from Kalimshire.
I got the name now. That's okay. He killed Norsu. He desecrates this place. We thought we could he came with vermin.
Vermin?
Scared little vermin.
I'd look really interested in that. Like, be like, how many vermin?
And what do they look like?
3. Naked. No fur.
Like us, no fur, or like you, but with no fur?
Just like completely ignoring her, but like, where are they? Where did they go? Do they have the children?
Tiny.
Do you know where they are?
In the lodge. They
Right
look.
now?
Yes.
And he's like looking past the wolves into the abode, because when you said lodge, that's just what he assumes he meant.
They have tails like beasts, but walk and talk like men, and yip and bark like dogs.
Would Sarkia recognize that description without
Anyone that
make a roll for it?
yeah, anyone that hears the description can make an intelligence roll. Just straight up intelligence.
18.
1877.
Like what? That's my actual good stat.
15.
15.
I
Alice?
quit Dungeons and Dragons.
11 is mine. I was the first
11.
one, I guess.
Oh, okay, sorry. 11 and Elephine?
8.
8. So, Etten, Alice, and Ragnar. Their description is hard to... It's hard to make out a specific creature because of their description, and that's probably what has Sarkia and Helephine stumped. Because what they're describing could be very... there's a wide range of creatures that fit this description in Faerun. But the closest you believe, especially because they call them vermin that yips and barks, is probably a kobold. So, Arrowman. You...
Yeah, he would look less pleased now that he's heard the description. He thought he looks less pleased now. He's like, yes? Children, where are they?
In the lodge. Safe. And sound.
But why did they tell you to take them, and why did you listen? You're obviously very powerful on your own.
He
Yes, great hunters of children, very powerful on their own.
you
I
see
cannot
that
wait till I learn silence.
they do not like you reminding them, but not one bit. They just say, "He who sits on the throne commands." He stole the throne. He killed Norsu.
So is he pretending he's your king?
The magic of the place prevents us from acting against them. And the other one says, "But not plotting." We want someone who will not hesitate, not be swayed. Kill him.
As soon as they say that the children are down in the cave, Etten will just go, okay, and walk off towards the... Right about the time that they're saying no hesitation, just walk off that way.
Different kind of hesitation.
Well, I've never assassinated a king before. Have you? And she looks over at Ragnar.
Who is just decidedly ignoring everybody but the wolves.
You kill the children. Oh, sorry. You kill the king. You get the children.
And you know where to find him.
He.
You can still take us there, even if you can't do anything.
They point to the middle archway. By the way, Etten, which archway were you going to? Left, middle, or right?
Left, the one that they were in front of.
Okay. So yeah, they say he's in the middle archway. His vermin. And they point to the leftmost one.
And I guess at that point I would see Atten almost at the archway then.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And Sarkia just waits for the hello.
Helaphine will, recognizing that Etten is probably in danger now, she'll sprint off in that direction after him.
I was able to go after Helaphine, but she won't sprint necessarily. She's approaching a little bit more cautious.
Okay.
But excited.
I'll just nod down to the wolves, like, I guess we have an agreement of sorts.
Yes.
I guess don't give us a cause to break it.
Kill him.
What's his name?
We don't care what his name is. And I'll just walk past the
I
wolves and
care
her.
what his name is. What's his name?
He presented himself as Ladugur.
Frau Blucher.
Ladugur.
I said that's a lot of extra consonants. It's not needed.
Laduguer. Ladugur. Oh, it's pronounced Ladugur. It is also the name of the patron gods of the Duergar.
Oh, I don't like that. Actually, Sarkia is proficient in religion and would like to roll to see if she knows that.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, because that was a bit of a meta knowledge. Oh, yeah. You definitely know that Ladiguer is god of craftsmen, exiles, and the Dwergar. Basically, the patron god that Clan Dwerg used to worship before they were cast out of where they lived and sent into the Underdark.
All right. After we kill this king for you, I have a few questions, if you don't mind. And she'll take off after everybody. I think Ragnar was the first one to chase Etten.
I left just before when they were saying, we go to kill the king, and you started to say, what's his name? And I said, I don't care what his name is. And
So
I walked up
Etten-
just before that.
Yeah, the order would be Etten, Helifine, Alizé, Sarkia. Alizé, Ragnar, Sarkia.
Okay, so Sarkia is going to catch up to Ragnar. I know that you obviously consider us all beneath you, but I think you should know that the person in there is either posing as or is a god of the Duergar. I assume you know who those are.
He just doesn't seem to. He's either ignoring you or just doesn't seem to care.
I'm sure this isn't the first time you've ever heard this, but you are an absolute asshole. And she keeps walking towards the lodge.
All right. Let's pan the camera over to the leftmost arch where Etten, Helifine, and a few, about 30 seconds later, Alizé would arrive. Etten, the archway is roughly 20 feet wide. It leads into this 30-foot long corridor that's just at an angle enough that you cannot see what the room is beyond it. There are no lights at all.
I will cast light on the tip of my mace so it's like a torch, and then just walk down there. Hello, children, I'm here. I've come to get you.
You...
Shh.
Oh, I'm the greeter.
So no, I know. We're not in town anymore, so you can stop.
Etten? Etten, that you?
Yes, it's me. Hello. Oh, see, I found the children.
Are they back? The wolves?
Oh, the wolves. Oh, we took care of the wolves. We are friends with the wolves now. Oh, it makes friends with everyone. Hello.
The moment you say you made friends with the wolves, you hear the rattling of metal. And as you turn the corridor, you see this wide room, roughly 40 feet by 60 feet deep, in the middle of which stands an enormous cage that was built, probably to carry predators on a wagon, but now serves as the cage that holds the children. The bars are just wide enough to let their heads through, but not their shoulders. And the children don't really understand that it could contortion, or maybe they did try. But you notice that one of them, Finn, the boy, has one of his ears frostbitten, and his fingers are covered in rime, and he keeps trying to warm them, and his sister is protecting him and says they're both in the far corner of the cage, having run over to that section when you said you were with the wolves, and they say the wolves are bad. The wolves lied to us, and now they're gonna wait for us to die here.
Oh no, we checked them out. They let us come down here. We're going to get you all, and we are ready to go home and take you home to your mother.
They want us to assassinate someone.
Who?
I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention.
The king.
Just get the children. It's fine.
Okay.
Is the cage locked in any way?
It is locked with a an old. It's not rusty, but you do notice that it's an old, big lock. A model that you've seen on a few houses in Dugan's Hole, and that it's fairly easy to pick, but very hard to break. The wolves.
Do we see anyone else around?
There is, with the light of Etton's mace, that's the only thing that is in the room. It's actually just this one room. There is no other exits from this archway.
So I gave a little fur to the children so they can stay a little warmer while I investigate the lock.
Oh, please hurry. We are freezing.
I just want you to burn this vision into your mind when you're all bad mouthing Ragnar and his. We need to save the children, and you're all like, no, let's talk to the wolves. They're so kind.
They take the fur and would wrap themselves. Well, Silja would wrap her brother in it, and as you inspect the lock, like I said, it's easy enough to pick. You also notice the cage itself, because it's been standing in extreme cold for so long. What makes it strong right now is the layer of ice covering the iron. You're pretty sure that if it was melted or warmed a little, it would be pliable enough for someone strong enough to bend at least one bar out of shape. You don't need much to let the children out.
I'll try to pick the lock if they're also trying to get the kids out at the same time in a different way, but I'll work on the lock.
Sure. Yeah. As she's looking at the lock, noticing that the bars are iced. Oh, could you just step back, Helafine? And I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame on the bars.
The bars begin to warm. Alize, you begin to fiddle with the lock. 9 is not enough to pick it, though. But as you're doing so, at least your thieves' tools do not break. And you keep working. You notice that Etten is melting the bar next to you. So that is up to either of you if you want to try again, or yes?
Actually, I also have proficiency that's added on that. Sorry.
Yeah, I think your proficiency is added on that roll.
Is it?
Okay. Let me check.
If I can tell what Etton's trying to do, I'll once he's cast Sacred Flame, I'll probably try and pry the bar out of place.
That would require an athletics check.
19.
19 is enough. And Alice, yes, they've added your because it's +4 for your dex and then +2 for your proficiency. Yeah. It's just that you rolled, a 3. But you're working on the lock. Elefine is pulling on the bar, and you notice by the time you finally get the lock open, the kids are about to exit through the hole anyway. But your thieves' tools are fine. Your hands are kind of cold. The like your skin almost just stuck to the lock, trying to pry it open. That's how cold the place is. But right now the children are out of the cage, and I'll just move over to Ragnar and Sarkia.
I mean, Sarkia has come in and she sees that everybody else seems to have things under control, getting the children out of the cage. Just so you all know, though, the people. So, the boss is not in this room, but apparently his vermin are. And she starts looking around.
They said the vermin was in the rightmost one.
Oh, I thought they said leftmost. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no, left is the children, middle is the boss, well, the king, and right is the vermin.
All right, so I'll reverse that. So, I would mildly suggest that we get rid of the vermin before we attempt the
Keep
large
saying
one.
vermin. Do you mean like rats?
Oh no,
Those are
kobolds.
easy.
Kobolds.
Kobolds.
Yes, that's what they mean.
Yeah.
But we have the children. I'm gonna hand Helafine my lit mace and scoop both the kids up and hold them next to my furball warmth.
I don't want this.
Oh, but it has a light on it.
I don't want it. Take it back.
Etten, I think you're not going to be able to carry them into combat.
Oh, but we don't need to go to combat because we have the children.
No,
You see?
we made an agreement.
I did not.
Fair enough. After I'm dead, you can come take all my stuff. And she turns and starts walking out the door.
Oh,
Ragnar would have
goodbye.
stayed at the door, by the way. He would have just been sort of out there waiting for whatever they were doing in that room.
No, I'm sure it's fine, Ragnar. I'm sure I'll be fine without you. It's okay. Just make sure that my necklace gets back to my mother.
I mean, the room everyone else went into. He would have just waited out there as you all went into that.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm talking over my shoulder to Eden. She will wonder what happened to me. Eden, please tell my story. When you get the children home.
Oh.
We don't know your mom.
But see, the wolves, they said to get the children, and we got the children, and now we don't need anything else. So there's no deal because there was nothing between us and them.
And she made a promise.
I made a promise. I'm not sure what your god requires of you. I keep my promises.
Are the wolves still outside?
They haven't followed you close to the arch. They remain where they were in the blizzard. It doesn't seem to faze them.
As we step outside and I'm carrying the children, I would have taken the mace back if you didn't want it, Helafine, and cast light on whatever you carry.
I don't carry anything, but I have I have a couple little spikes poking out of my buns.
Yep. Cast light on your head.
Oh, and make sure someone takes the small dragon. I'm sure he will starve to death without someone to help him.
Oh, hello, wolves. Yes, we got the children, so we don't need to fight your thing anymore.
Oh.
Sarkia has turned and she's heading towards the far right.
But you
Sarkia!
do.
Sarkia!
Oh, no, we don't.
Yeah, Ragnar would have had it moved a little bit to the right, you know. He would have cut her off a little bit so she doesn't just walk into there because he would have heard her over-exaggerated, you know, very badly acted, I'm going to assume, I'm going to die, blah, 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 please give this to my family, and sort of peered through the right side, you know, door.
Okay. I'll just finish with Etten as the two wolves. If they could smile, that's what they're doing. It looks menacing and completely unnatural.
I was there when they were telling the tale about the person they hate, right? Can I insight check these turds?
Absolutely.
That is a dirty 20.
Ooh.
So their story is completely true. They hate that person too much to try to lie. And there is a... Now that you recall the tale, there wasn't an ounce of desperation in their voice. They apparently, whoever that Norsu was, they cared. However much a malign beast could care for someone.
Oh, goodness. Well, I can't... Well, all right. Stay with me, children.
The kids are clutching you even tighter when you approach the wolves. Which is basically also in the blizzard.
Etten is torn. He has the kids. He wants to take them back, but Sarkia also made him feel bad, like she was gonna die, because that's kind of his thing, not letting people die. Oh, I don't. Oh, okay. Well, I guess he'll go towards Sarkia.
Okay.
Kids are safe.
Well, they're with you at the moment.
Yeah.
So they're, safer than they were before. As you walk back to... Because it's a good, 2-3 minutes to walk back to the lodge. Silja would ask you, almost as a whisper in your ear, Do you have anything to eat?
Oh, yes. Fish jerky. Here you go.
They do not care. Down the fish jerky goes. It's like
you guys
feeding
know
sharks.
how hungry you would have to be.
Yeah, they say...
Hey, I ate that fish jerky too. Last week.
Gross.
They say, they would only bring us yellow, mushy stuff.
That's better than nothing.
It tasted
had all my
like
life.
nothing.
Eat the yellow snow.
Meanwhile, on the leftmost, under the rightmost, Jesus, arch, again, bathed in darkness. Nothing to illuminate the room. But there is a sour stench of decay that emanates from this room. It's...
I have dark vision, so do I see anything within the first 60 feet?
Oh, yeah. Middle of this room, which is basically the same dimension as the room with the cage. So when you come in, there's this, corridor, then that's at an angle, opens up on a massive room. At the other end of the room, there is an opening, and you can hear laughter. Just stifled laughter coming from beyond. And this room has a whale. The frozen corpse of a whale, crudely butchered. On its body is a pair of knives that are about 3 feet long, with a handle that you as a tiefling would have to hold with both hands to do anything with it. And also, to the far, near the exit at the far end of the room, you notice that in what was probably at some point a puddle, but it has completely frozen over. There is a small stone chest. Well, small.
And this is all in
Sorry,
this is all in
small for a
this is
town.
all in darkness, right?
That is all in darkness.
So, because I would like step forward to sort of peer in and see that, and I would just keep my hand out to the crazed woman. I'm not sure how to describe the magic user next to me, and just be like, you do hear that, don't you?
I'm right there, and I have light cast on me, so you can see a little bit.
Then there's light and there's color. And this whale, now that you notice it in color, has expired. It reached its expiry date a long time ago. And no one has bothered to either clean the carcass out properly. If it was any warmer, it would probably be crawling with insects. But the interior is all blackened.
Oh, look, children, whale blubber. Your mother would love that for the winter stove.
I'm pretty sure that's what they were being fed.
And
Oh.
Finn turns over your shoulder just in time to puke bits of fish jerky.
There.
I would just turn it at him. I'm like, no, I was referring to the laughter. None of you heard that.
Oh,
Would Sarki have heard that?
yeah, if you stay quiet for just a few seconds, you could hear the last bit of the laughter before someone says,
Oh, hello! Hello! Who's there?
I would just look at it and be like, yes. And then I would notice the children and be like, God damn it, did he bring the children with him?
"Who dares?" And that is a voice that echoes across the hall. I was sleeping. And you hear slushing noises coming from beyond the wall behind the whale carcass as a dwarf-sized humanoid. Their skin a dark blue, a wild beard that probably used to be braided before, but has just been let loose and covered in blood and viscera. This Dwergar is wearing a crown made of... It's more like a turban made out of intestines.
Ew.
And is covered in a smelly, disgusting, substance that's brown and red all over him. And he yells out 3 names. He says, he calls out two, Holgi, Snorp, Zelbo, you let these mangy Huh. And then he sees you, and you see him. He says, who are you? People in my home. And his eyes are twitching.
I assume that you're the one who pretends he's a god and a king?
I am a god.
Yes, we've all heard that one before on a
I
late
don't know.
night.
I trust him. He sounds like he really...
He is not a god.
Look at his
Relax.
hat.
Busts out the largest laugh. Like she just loses it.
He draws a warhammer and charges at your general direction, yelling, "I am a god!" Roll for initiative?
Was that roll initiative? 'Cause I
Yeah,
couldn't
roll
hear.
Yes, I
initiative.
think it was.
I would ask if I get a surprise round, but I know how much Simon loves it when I ask that question. The answer's not.
11.
The answer is no right now because your surprise round was to make fun of his status.
Well, if he is a god, I've always wanted to kill one.
Etten.
Fortunately, he's not susceptible
14.
to burn damage.
Oh.
And
Oh no,
Allison.
I keep forgetting I don't have vicious mockery.
You should
You do it
find-
in real life. That's what's mattering.
Yeah, you're gonna have to find a bard to teach you. Oh wow, great. No dex. Wow, he has a 1. So, because of his shit initiative, essentially it's like you all had, a surprise round. Sarkia, you're the first act.
All right. In that case, I am going to immediately cast Firebolt.
Go ahead. By the way, because he hasn't acted yet, you all have advantage. Well, doesn't matter, that's a crit.
I don't need your advantage.
Roll for damage. You let loose a bolt of fire that hits him square in the beard as he's running. It singes a hole where it, where the hair is not covered in this thick, sort of brownish substance.
Question, if that has anything to do with whale blubber, wouldn't the fire damage ignite it?
It is not whale blubber.
Oh, bugger. That would have been fun.
It's poop.
It's
Duh.
probably poop.
Oh, what's the whale thing that's worth a lot of money?
That is the, oh god, it's the oil.
Yeah, it's whale oil.
No, but there's a name for it.
It was on a Bob's Burgers
It's
episode.
in,
Anyway,
it's in
sorry.
Moby Dick.
It goes
too.
in perfume.
Perfume.
It starts with an L. Now I have to look it up.
Ambergris. There we go.
Oh,
Thanks,
ambergris.
chat.
Like
Yeah.
I said, totally starts with an L.
Chat for the save there.
I didn't have chat open. It's Godless Lawyer, of course. If you have a question, just ask Godless Lawyer.
Well, or you need a pun.
Or a pun, which now chat is filled with. Thank you, Godless. So our next... Well, is Sarkia doing anything else after she launched a firebolt?
I don't really have any bonus actions yet as a wizard, so I'm gonna kind of duck back around the edge of the doorway.
Okay. By the way, there is enough room... That's why I'm not using the map. It's a big enough room that you can all navigate through it. If you need to go around them, or if you need to move out of the way or anything, because it's a giant, it's a lodge sized for giants. Alize, you are next. He would be, at this point in time, 10, 20, 30, 40... Yeah, he would be 40 feet away from you.
40 feet away from me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rushing closer, holding his warhammer in 2 hands.
Is there anything I can climb upon?
The whale.
Okay. So I'll literally run away and try to jump upon the whale and position myself in a way so I assume that he cannot make it there with the way he looks.
As a dwarf, you would need to climb on it a bit like you did.
Right.
But I am going to ask you for either an athletics or an acrobatics check to climb up on that. Okay, it's good. You do not fall in the giant hole that's on the side of the whale. So you climbed up on the whale. Is there anything else that you wanted to do?
No, just search for that rock that was in my pocket that I picked up from the cave.
Oh, that's true. You still don't have like your weapons and everything.
Well, I mean, I do have one, but I'm not willing to use it.
Okay. Then that would be Etten's turn.
Okay, so he's going to set the children down and push them behind him. And we have advantage on this, correct?
Yes.
He's going to look at the scary man running at them, and he's going to say, "Oh, I would not come any closer," and then cast a guiding bolt.
Ooh.
It's the biggest baddie thing he has. Oh crap, that's not great. 15. Okay.
With a 15, you
You have advantage, right? You get to roll twice.
Yeah, I did.
you point at the charging Duergar, and what does your guiding bolt look like?
It is a bright flame, almost like sunlight, that comes out from the sun on the comically small shield that Etten carries.
The beam of light shoots forth from your shield, and as it's about to hit him, he swings his warhammer and deflects the guiding bolt as it hits the ceiling instead. 15 is a miss.
Okay.
Do you do anything else on your turn? I'll assume that for the sake of like combat, putting the children down was just a non-action. Like they can climb down your body.
I'm gonna stand where I am with myself between them.
Okay.
And yep, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Then that would bring us to Helifine.
Yeah, so Helifine will take a couple large Goliath strides forward about 20 feet, so she'll close some of the distance, and then she's going to reach up and pull one of the pointy pin bits out of her bun and just fling it at the dwarf.
Are you flinging the one that emits light? Just out of curiosity.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, that way he's sort of like marked. And that's a 22 to hit.
22 does hit.
For 7 points of piercing damage.
It lodges itself in between, like under his wild beard, in between plates of his armor. And that's with the sound of steel against steel. You notice that under like his matted fur outfit, there is an armor protecting him. And that would be Ragnar's turn. You're muted.
I'm going to position myself a little to the side next to Etten and take aim with the bow. You said we're at advantage, right?
Yeah.
Wow. I got a 24. I guess I could roll to see if I get a crit, but
yeah.
Nope.
Still
So,
24 hits.
for 9 damage.
Your arrow.
And as I'm
lunges-
firing, as I'm firing the bow, I'm gonna lean down to Silja, the oldest, and just be like, "Do you know how to shoot the bow? Your parents are hunters, yes? Do you think you could, And I'm like holding my bow out as I just let my arrow go. I'm like, "Do you think you could do this?"
And she holds on to the bow. She's she's 14, so she's tall enough to hold a longbow. But she will attack with disadvantage.
No, that's fine, because after I take my attack, I just, leave the bow in her hands, and just sort of drop a handful, of my arrows at the ground at her and just be like, just shoot the wrong things. And then, wait for my next turn.
Well, her initiative is a 5. So she gets to act right now, picks up one of the arrows on the floor. So she has disadvantage, and then she has advantage. So that cancels out. And she fires an arrow that bounces off the dwarf's armor.
I mean, I'm not going to insult the child, but be like, I thought your father was a hunter.
So I gather you keep that in your mind? Or you say it out loud?
No, he says it out loud,
Okay.
but he's not he's going to be slightly, he's not insulting directly to the child, but he's still, a little encouragement from that angle.
Do you know what insults are? Because that was one of them.
I'm not gonna insult the child. Insults the child.
The Duergar...
Darkia takes her bonus action that she didn't take before to slap him in the back of the head.
You're not there, you went behind the doorway. Ha ha.
The Duergar reaches, with its speed, up to... Actually, no. In 2 steps, over the course of 2 steps that he takes, getting closer to Helifine, the Duergar enlarges inside. His intestine turban sort of turning now into more of a crown, as it doesn't cover the whole top of his head. His warhammer enlarges with him to the point where this thing, it looks more like a shaft connected to a cement block. And he gets close to Helifine and lifts the warhammer high above his head, as he will, next turn, bring it down on someone.
He's going to lean down to the child as all this unfolds in front of them and be like, it should be easier to hit him now, I hope.
So the child is going to fire at Ragnar. Sarkia, you're up.
You waited until I took a bite. Okay. Well, it's still pretty dark in there, right? But I can see kind of because of the light thing.
There's light. Because Helifine threw the lightened dart at him, so he is now shedding light up to 20 feet of bright light, and then an extra 20 of dim light,
So,
which covers
advantage.
the whole room. No, you don't
Advantage
have
or no?
advantage, but you don't have disadvantage.
Man, I just wanted to cast Magic Missile at the darkness, but I'm just going to cast Magic Missile.
That works. You don't even need to roll to attack for that. Pew, pew, pew. That's 1.
I get 3 at this level, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. For a total of 36.
36?
No, what am I saying? A total of 11.
I mean, no.
I'm tallying
total
up,
of 36.
I'm tallying up the damage.
Nope, I cast a total of 36 damage.
Alize, you're
You
up.
said it. It's law now.
Heard it.
It's okay, I'm just gonna give him 36 more hit points.
Thank you, Simon.
But did you want to do anything with your movement or your bonus action?
That's the thing. I just don't have really any bonus
Not
actions.
yet, I think.
She's gonna go and kind of stick herself to half cover again behind the column.
The exit? Okay. Then Alize, you are up on the whale next to him. With the size that he has now, he could, with a sweep of his arm, strike you, even if you're atop the whale.
Oof. Tough decision. She's gonna risk it. She doesn't wanna give away much on who she is or where she's coming from, so she's gonna risk it. She's gonna try to chuck the rock at him and run towards the other side of the whale.
Okay. You can make a ranged attack. And theoretically, that would count as a sneak attack because Heliphine is right next to him. So on a 20, you hit. Barely. For 11 points of damage. Oh, it's okay. It counts your sneak attack in the other box.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that.
So, ow. You whack him across the face with the rock, and a trickle of blood begins to pour out of his ear as he shakes his head, and instead of aiming for Heliphine, is sort of slightly angling his blow to go your way. But you move out to the back of the whale, which leaves the way open to Etten.
Yeah, Aliza doesn't seem concerned one bit.
Okay. Rules thing, just so I don't misspeak. I can cast 2 spells a turn if one of them is a cantrip, is that correct?
If one of them is a cantrip, and one of them has a casting time of a bonus action.
Okay, yep. Cool. Yes, I would like to position myself in front of the children still, and do a Sacred Flame.
Okay.
Dexterity saving throw.
Oh, he's super dexterous, you know that. He
DC
oh
14.
shit, rolls a 19.
Ooh. Okay. And then with my bonus action, so he's gonna reach up towards the roof of the cave and then just call down this pillar of flame, and then kind of as he's doing that with his left hand, he's gonna shoot a little magic over at Heliphine and cast where did it go? Shield of Faith. You get a +2 bonus to your AC for duration.
Heliphine, you are both protected, and it is your turn.
So he's right in front of me now.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like
And
he's closed the distance between me.
He closed the distance, and he's about 12 feet tall.
Cool, and he's got his arms above his head, sort of, with the... Okay, neato. I'll kind of just hop in the air, and as I'm doing so, I'm going to pop, and hit him twice, just under the chin, to really disorient him. And...
Pop.
The first is a 23 to hit.
23 hits.
And the second is also a 23.
They both hit.
Sweet.
When you say disorient, did you mean like you wanted to do something like a stunning fist, or...
No, I don't have that
Oh,
yet.
you don't have that yet. Okay.
It's just hitting him, but I'm
Okay.
trying to imagine getting hit underneath the chin, and it's not pleasant.
It's...
So let's see, that's 8 and 6, grand total of 14.
You punch him twice under the jaw. The first time, you hear a crack as he spits out a mouthful of teeth. And the second time, how do you want to do it?
Let's say the first one catches him underneath the chin just enough for that he'll open up his mouth, like while those teeth are sort of finding their freedom. And then the second one is actually going to catch him just on the upper jaw and sort of take him ass over tea kettle backwards.
He flies down and hits the ground with a loud thud as he shrinks back. And as he's dying, he mutters something in Dwarvish. I don't know if any one of you speaks Dwarvish.
I do!
I do, hello.
he says, "I finally see why."
See what?
What?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my mic didn't pick up. I finally see why.
Oh.
See why what?
See why who?
See what are you guys talking about?
See why where?
See why
What?
how?
Oh.
And as he falls down, 3 creatures, their heads, 3 kobolds, their heads popping out of the doorframe, like in a cartoon. 1, 2, 3. One of them says, in Draconic, I don't know if any one of you speak Draconic, but says something to looking at the 2 others below him. Bah, 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 bah.
I speak Draconic.
Oh,
I've already done it in episode 2.
that's true. We were too late. But the second one looks up. He's like, looks like he's dead. And the third one's like, well, there goes the fun.
Sarkia would look at all 3 of them, assuming that they probably assume that no one here understands what they're saying.
Yeah.
So she looks right at them and goes, if I were you, I'd run.
And they look at you. And all 3
He
of
just
them
grins at them.
come out with their hands up. Slowly. And you notice they're kind of well dressed. They're wearing well dressed for kobolds. They're not wearing any cold.
So they're
weather
actually wearing
outfit.
clothes, like some kind of clothes.
Yeah, some clothing, but their clothing is this like black tunic with the like embroidered on it, or I should say not embroidered, but like sewn on it is this like winged serpent. Golden yellow winged serpent facing downwards. And they all come out with their hands up.
I see that out of the, like, they all come out, right, from the darkness?
Yeah.
So I would just walk past all of them and kick one of them immediately down and step on his throat and put the blade to the one next to him. And just like, so who are you? Just like immediately.
I don't think
I would ignore him and I'd turn to his friend. Who are you?
Wait, do they speak common?
Well, when he asks, one of them does answer. The one that doesn't have neither the sword nor the foot on the throat says, "Zelbo. I'm Zelbo. I am. You don't want to mess with us. We're connected. Yeah. And the
Where
other
did
one
you
with
get
the sword.
that? Yeah, I'm gonna take the blade and draw it up just high enough so that his chin raised up, so that he looks at me in the eye and be like, "Where did you get those clothes?"
They're ours. Yeah.
Can I roll an insight to see if he's telling the truth?
Sure.
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
I rolled a 9.
Yeah, it's kobolds don't have a lot of possessions normally. They live in this sort of a almost like a like communist utopia where everything belongs to everyone and you just take what you need or don't. It doesn't really matter. So when something is like belongs to someone, there's like a certain effort for them to understand the principle behind it. So when they say this is ours, you're pretty sure that, yeah, okay, they were either given or they managed to get their hands on. And oh yeah, go ahead.
I should rephrase that. Where did you find these? And as I'm closer, do I notice any blood stains or anything on these clothes? Are they still like decent looking, or?
They're dirty, but there's no blood on it. A little wear and tear. the one with the foot on his throat goes, Targos! God damn it, Targos! It was...
Would step off him and just keep it on his chest, but, let him speak.
Targos. We got them in Targos. I told you to. Brothers, that would be a good bad idea. People are uncultured outside of the city.
How did you all end up here?
Oh, yeah. We're entrepreneurs. We're entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs. Yeah, we're business people. Yep, business people we are.
So this was business?
Kind of. And they look at the dead Duergar. Owned a very entertaining companion.
Oh,
What did you use him for?
sorry about that.
Followed him around for a laugh, I guess. Sometimes he had... Oh?
That's not really business, though.
Oh, but we was going to,
Stick him in a fighting ring?
No, one... I don't remember. Was it a day? Was it a night? And he looks to his two brothers. The others, just shrug. That he came with an idea. That we can get tribute. Yeah, he called it tribute. That would make us not entrepreneurs,
Oh.
and we would become as kings. Only he apparently deserves to be the best king, which is why he slept in the mammoth, and we had to sleep in the bedroll.
Not
I told him
anymore.
that He was
I-
not.
yeah. You do know he was not a god.
Oh, that was part of the whole act. Like, it was
Yes.
enjoyable.
So, I'm confused as to why you let him boss you around.
Oh, he wasn't bussing us around. If anything, we were kind of bossing him around. Just in a very roundabout way of never saying anything that would anger him because he had a big hammer.
Right.
Also, would you mind putting your sword out? Just...
Oh, no, he quite likes it. I think you should leave it right where it is, yes. Well, go on, Fancy Pants. Do you have any more questions for them?
He looks like he does want to say something, but that he looks, there's a lot of you there. And he just looks back to them, and he says, Targos. There was no one else with you here?
Well, there were children. Did you ever want to found a family? We can sell you children.
He's going to lift the blade up a bit higher. No, not what I meant.
Oh, well, if you don't want... I heard families are all the rage in the 10 town.
And he's going to look at him a bit suspiciously. What else have you heard about the 10 towns?
Stuff, you know?
Tell me. And then he's gonna lean a bit closer, and he's just gonna whisper in one of their ears, tell me about the Zentarum. And then he's gonna move the blade just a little bit in, just enough where it pricks and draws a little bit of blood. And he's and speak very slowly and quietly.
I see you are a man of culture as well. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Laughing.
And he's
Yeah, he's gonna pull back
expecting
your
a...
nod.
Uh-huh. Yes. Well, we are... No. They. Yeah. They are... in business in Targos.
And not here?
They were supposed to, I guess, but we thought it would be more hilarious to follow this Duergar we found.
And then he's just gonna like take the blade down and sort of like, slap the, hilarious, I'm assuming slightly oversized outfits and be like, so then that explains this. More hilarious.
Wow.
Can I take the weapon away from the child while he's talking to the kobolds, just for good measure?
Oh, yeah. She'll
Yeah.
hand it to you. Like, she doesn't.
Cool.
FYI, Sarkia rolled a 21 on perception to try and overhear that conversation.
Well, the only part that was whispered was the one part. Everything since then has been.
Yeah.
I know, that's when I rolled the perception.
But I think with the 21, yeah, you could hear the query he asked. The
I'm
rest,
not gonna say anything.
the kobolds aren't trying to be subtle or anything. But basically, in the sake of in the interest of time, they would explain that they were supposed to open up a shop in Dugan's Hole. It's a business proposition that came from Nerth. Is that the right name? Yes, Nerth, the mayor of Targos, and it would involve import-export, inter-town community, sort of a relief effort, if you will. And that Holgi, Snorp, and Zilbo were supposed to act as the intermediaries, but also as the ones that would be driving like the sled back and forth between Targos and Dugan's Hole, and even perhaps other towns should the need arise. While in fact the truth is, and that's what the kobold, not that they were against it, more like they thought it was too much work for what it would give. It's essentially siphoning resources from the other smaller towns to stash all of that in Targos and make sure that people, instead of depending on Bryn Shander, which is normally the biggest of the 10 towns, they would begin depending on Targos and thus depending on the Zentharim. But it's too much work for them. And while they were en route to Dugan's Hole, they found this hilarious Duergar in the snow, completely lost, saying that he would bring about an era of fire and darkness, and that the North would belong to him, and that nobody can understand. And they just said they did understand him, and apparently either they followed him or he followed them. That's unclear, but they've been together ever since. And they found shelter here, and then he gutted a mammoth and sat on a big ice throne, and that's where all this madness started happening. By madness, they mean trying to gain tribute from Dugan's Hole by way of ransoming the children. They were just there for the entertainment and the food.
Apropos of nothing, is my lantern doing anything?
Nothing special at the moment.
Regular flame?
Yeah.
Alyssa seems very disinterested in that whole conversation with the kobolds, and she's more like observing Helifine with the way she fought. So she's trying to figure out like where she learned that stuff from, and if it's similar to what Alize knows, and she's becoming a little bit more cautious. And
it's definitely similar.
Mm-hmm.
but not the exact same. It is a martial art. She is like you can see she fights with her body, but not exactly the same way you learned.
Yeah.
Telephine is literally trying to like clean disgusting dwarf goo off of the dart that she threw while you're just like staring her down trying to figure this out. She's like wiping it on her pant leg and then just looks around real quick and tucks it back in her hair.
And
Yeah, so not to steer the conversation away from the kobolds, but on the offline, she will be asking Helafine more questions and details on how she trained, what she knows. She's trying to figure out what is safe for Alize to do, what's not. Like, she's just trying to make sure nobody recognizes her form or where she's from.
Are the kids okay right now?
well, I was gonna ask Etten that question before we leave
Yes.
tonight.
Oh, yes, the children are just fine. I've set them down, and I put my big hairy arms around them, and I gave them all the knucklehead trout jerky that I have on me, and we're just sitting there and telling tales to each other.
Finn, the younger, would look at you when it comes time to tell his story and says, Mr. Etten, I have something very important to tell you and all of your friends.
Oh, what is it?
It came to me in a dream, like it's the voice of a higher being. I don't understand the words that was said. They are words, but I don't understand them. The voice just said in my dream, tell them they are all now level 2 as we end the episode tonight.
Oh, that's a very
You're a nerd,
strange
Simon.
prophecy.
Oh, I like these kids.
I do too.
Continue giving us levels.
But yes, we are going to end tonight's episode on this conversation with the kobolds. We're going to figure out what's going to happen to Zilg, and they all have like some weird names. But
Garbage
players,
disposal names.
if you look in the Legend Keeper, you will now have the wiki entry for Olgi, Snorp, and Zilbo, and will now understand things.
Yay.
But I mean, I understand that goal. I really do understand that goal that they've got.
That relates to me as well. Yeah, for sure.
So, on that note, let's go around the table. Tell us who you are, where we can find you on the internet. If you have anything to plug for the coming week, please do so. We'll do the same order as we did the intros, so we'll once again start with Kelly.
Hello, I'm Kelly, the opera geek. I think we should all start with hello. You can find me all over the interwebs at the Opera Geek, including here on Twitch, where I am a variety streamer. I am currently playing through the original PlayStation 1 version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, for which I actually pulled out my original PS1 from 1996. Really fun. I also do a lot of Animal Crossing, and this Thursday is the slightly postponed, but still going to be awesome, finale of our Dragon Age game here on Wandering DM, which is GM'd by Cypher of Tyr, who is an amazing human being, and the whole cast is phenomenal. So, yeah, come watch that. Other than that, yeah, I'm just married to that guy, who I think gets to speak next.
Yes.
My name is Justin. I am playing Ragnar, and you can find me online at Pirate Jesus.
_
I mean, there's another score in there, but I mean, you could find me online. But I'm mostly here, doing this lovely game, and here mostly to bother Kelly.
Next is Tumai.
Yeah, so on Twitter, you can find me as Professor XR. I don't stream any other games, but I'm looking forward to Cyberpunk, so I can play that on Xbox X Series X.
Yeah, it's actually in a month from now. So, yeah. Justice, you're next.
I am Stashmandu on all the socials. You can find me as half the team over at Bard and Barbarian. We do a lot of TTRPG stuff on our channel. This week we have Call of Cthulhu. So Thursday night at 8 Eastern. Yeah, there we go. We're continuing our Call of Cthulhu Down Darker Trails game, Iron, Dust, and Blood. And this week it's a little unique because we're down a player. So we're going to do 3 players. And then Saturday morning we're doing a one-on-one shot at 11 Eastern. We're bumping it up just a little bit. So one-on-one Call of Cthulhu Saturday morning. Other than that, check out our website. We got a lot of cool dice and stuff in your Bard and Barbarian themed stuff. It is bardandbarbarian.com.
Yep. You can type it in the chat if you want people to see it and click on it. That is fine.
You've never said which one's the Bard and which one's the Barbarian.
Exactly.
Isn't it obvious?
Kelly knows. I know Kelly knows.
Yeah, but I've met you in person, so I've got a leg up.
You know.
I would say you're the barbarian, but I don't know.
And last but not least is the second half of Bard and Barbarian.
Yes, that is me. I am Diana. I am the other half of Bard and Barbarian. I'm the affiliate manager over at Die Hard Dice. I play B on Denver by Night on Wednesdays. I'm in Iron, Dust, and Blood, and usually on Sundays I lead a mythology-themed adventure for Tanya DePass and B. Dave Walters and Justice and our friend Mason. And right now that's postponed, but I'm anxious to bring it back and to be the goddess of strife once more.
Nice. That was Argon, right? Aegon.
It was Aegon, and then we just changed it to a Call of Cthulhu system because I love Call of Cthulhu.
It's a good system. They made there's a Rune Quest, I think, is based on the same system.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, if you want more, like, medieval fantasy.
Don't I always?
I don't know. As for me, I'm Simon at Wandering DM. You can find us once again on Thursday for the finale of our Thirsty Thursdays. If network cables do not melt, and God forbid nothing else happens.
For real, though, I still want to know how he melted his network cable, but okay.
Yeah, so let's hope we're gonna have our finale, and then on Friday we're once again going back to Night City for some Cyberpunk Red at 8 p.m. And on Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern, you can find me over on the Level Up Dice channel as we tackle the second session of our Scion Birth of the New Gods campaign. So be sure to check that out. And otherwise, we'll find you here at 8:30. Didn't mess it up this time. 8:30 Eastern next Monday with hopefully a full intro sequence. Ciao, everyone. Thank you for coming. Have a good night.
Bye.